tonight?
Amen.
Let's stand. Welcome to the Great Victory Baptist Church. Turn to number 619 in your hymnals. Stand up for Jesus, ye soldiers of the cross. Let's sing it out, number 619. The Lord was working in my heart, and I was studying some things, and the Lord kept sending me back to the book of Acts, and I was really seeking the Lord for our church and in my own life, what God would have me to do. I really believe that New England needs more churches.
Amen.
Not more Methodist churches, not more congregational churches, not more neo-evangelical churches, but independent, fundamental, Baptist, separated, soul-winning, Bible preaching, love God, love people, Baptist churches. But how do we do that? You know, we all want to. Okay, so now I've got the burden. Now what do I do? And the Lord kept driving me back to the book of Acts, and He really began just giving me a step-by-step about how this could all work. And I began to get a little overwhelmed by it, and excited by it, and scared by it at the same time. You ever been there? And I remember very clearly sitting on my computer late one night. I had my Bible over here, my notepad here, my computer screen in front of me, and God and I were just talking, and I had all this information. I didn't know what to do with it. And the Lord said, well, you need to do something with it. And I'll be honest with you, it's one of those days where no matter how good you're doing in the ministry or your family or whatever, it doesn't Satan do a good job about making you feel like you're not doing a very good job.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest with you, I was sitting there having a little bit of a pity party. You've never done that, have you? And late at night, my wife was in bed, the kids were in bed, just me and the Lord. And I'm looking at this computer screen glowing, everything around me is dark, and I'm just kind of slouched in my chair, and I'm like, Lord, I can't do anything with this. And the Lord said, well, you need to. I said, Lord, I don't have a big church. He said, well, do you have 5 loaves and 2 fishes? And I said, well, Lord, nobody cares what I got to say. He said, well, open your mouth and see what happens. And so you know what it's like arguing with the Lord. You're just never going to win that argument.
That's right. That's right.
I'll be honest with you. I said, okay, well, if you want me to do something with this, then you got to give it a name. I don't want no crazy name. I said, and I'm telling you, this is in my humanity. I'm like challenging God. Well, it's got to be a name that I like, and it's got to be a name that means something. So I wrote some things down, and then all of a sudden it was just like, I'll be honest with you, just like as obvious as could be, what are we trying to do? We want to save New England.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And so I wrote that name down, and God began to move. I began to meet with other pastors and found out that God was doing in their hearts much what He was doing in mine. And there's such a unique kindred spirit among pastors in New England that want to do our best to save New England.
Absolutely.
And so we started talking. We had some meetings and got excited. Then we had some more meetings and got excited. And then our church was going to have this Save New England revival. And then we got the idea to not only have evening services, but the pastors that would come, 12 pastors, met on Tuesday. Instead of training sessions like we're going to do tomorrow, we just sat around the table from 9 in the morning till about 3 in the afternoon, and we just talked it out. What can we do? What does this look like? Are we willing to believe God? And I told the guys, I said, I don't want to sit here and talk all day and then have nothing happen. That's what preachers do. We're too long talking about problems and then just go back to our life. If we're going to talk about it, then let's do something.
That's right. Amen.
And so out of that meeting, there's been a lot of neat things happen and God moving. This conference is one of those things, and some other exciting things that have happened. And I just believe that God can save New England.
Amen.
A lot of people don't believe that.
I believe it.
I believe God can.
Yes. Yes.
But I also
Amen.
believe that there's no one church
Go
or
ahead.
no one personality in New England that's going to get the job
That's
done.
right.
New England doesn't need a mega church.
That's right.
It needs a bunch of churches that are obedient.
Yeah, there you go.
Churches just like this one.
That's right.
And I tell Victory Baptist Church tonight that you are so important in the economy of God.
Amen.
I'm so glad to know your testimony and your obedience here. And each one of you men of God that are here and you folks that are from different churches, Whether you had 5 last Sunday or 50 or 150 or 300, that means nothing because you have a great big God.
Yeah.
Amen.
In the next couple days, we're going to take our eyes off of ourselves and stop giving ourselves all the reasons about why it can't be done.
Yes, sir.
And we're just going to look at God and say, God, what do you want to do?
Yeah.
God's got the answers.
Yes.
All God's needs is some mouths that'll say what He wants them to say, some feet that'll go where He wants them to go, some hands that'll do what He wants them to do. And I believe with all my heart, New England will see miracles.
Yeah.
Amen. Yes, sir.
Miracles.
Amen.
Yes, sir.
Some of you don't believe that, but I'm hoping by tomorrow night you will.
Yeah.
Amen.
Some of you do believe it.
Amen.
And we're going to talk about how we do it. Next steps. Think about this as I finish. Somewhere right now in Maine, not too far from where we are, somewhere right now is so hopeless. They have no hope in life that they are, right this moment, taking some drug to try to forget about how bad their life is. I mean, right this moment.
True.
Hours from now or in the morning, they will wake up and hate themselves for what they have done. And then they will seek it again. Because they have no hope. Somewhere right now in New Hampshire, I mean, right this minute, there is a couple screaming and yelling at each other, parting ways. The kids are crying over in the corner, and they both walk away, say, we're done. Because they don't know Jesus. And there's no preacher that's ever knocked on their door. There's no church member that's ever told them Jesus is the answer. Right now in Vermont, there's someone going through a crisis and they're finding out that all of the money they've accumulated in their life means nothing when it comes to this problem. And all the education that they've had and all the atheism and humanism that they've been taught their whole life isn't helping them at all.
Right.
And right this moment, they are so desperate for help. I think about right now, I believe right now there's an elderly person somewhere in Massachusetts, perhaps at home, perhaps in a nursing home, and they know they're close to death. And they're scared. But there's no preacher in that nursing home.
Right.
There's no one that's ever been there and says, let me tell you about Jesus. I think about a middle-aged person in Connecticut. Maybe they've had a heart attack or a stroke and they're laying in the hospital and there's families are around them and each one of them are scared to death because they don't know what to do and there's no God in their life that can help them. I think about in Rhode Island right now. Such a burden for these teenagers. Right now in Rhode Island, I guarantee you there's a teenager somewhere where they've gotten to the place where they realize the pleasures of sin only last for a season.
That's right.
And they've drunk all they can drunk, and they've drugged all they can drug, and they've had more pot that they're sick of it, and they
That's
look at
right.
their lives in the mirror, and right now one of them is holding a bottle of pills, wondering if they ought to just down the whole thing,
Yep.
or one of them is holding a daddy's gun in their hand, looking at it, wondering what it'd be like just to put it in their mouth and pull the trigger, because they have no hope.
You're right.
And no preachers ever knocked on their door. No churches in town there that they know of that's a lighthouse that they know of. If I get in
Right
trouble,
on,
there's
Richard.
that church there.
Right.
Let me tell you something, friend. That's the heart of Save New England.
Amen.
I believe that we can get the gospel to every creature in New England.
Yeah.
And I want every person, every soul in New England to have a good church within driving distance.
Amen.
What if we could knock on every door in New England?
Yeah.
You say, oh, preacher, that's impossible. Well, we're in real trouble then because Jesus said, go ye into all the world.
Wow.
If I can't reach my town,
Wow.
how in the world am I going to reach the world?
Right.
We gotta open our eyes, folks. We've got to get some vision. And as I prayed this week for this conference,